I don't think there's any point in trying to be funny because we know it's not a time to be funny really. There's only so much we can do. Well, how many times can we do this in a month really? It's going to make the October breakdown all the more painful to talk about really. But welcome back to Matchday Report. This time we're reporting on Preston North End and Stoke City. And unfortunately, Stoke City got the better of us, as expected. To be honest, and I've got more time this time, so we can actually talk about the first half and second half breakdown this time. So I'll leave that there for you to take a look at and laugh at while I read down this breakdown. So for the first half, it was not exactly the most entertaining of first halves. There wasn't many standout moments or performances to point out really. There was a clear missed handball in the closing minutes which robbed us of a penalty, but we can't be relying on these things, and I'm blind as a bat, and if I can see it then that referee clearly must have saw it. So, but championship referees in a nutshell, they're useless, they're garbage. Nobody really had many good runs, but Stoke have looked the better team in the first half, to be honest. Hopefully someone can produce something in the second half. And then I move on to writing about the second half, and I said the second half was off to a faster start, but outcome was hazy. Stoke soon came back and took the lead through really small balls and made it 1-0. North End continued to lack the confidence as it gradually went 2-0 after more lacking footy from North End. The second half continues to be appalling with far too many back passes and unsure attacking, something which really needs to be sorted out. And by this point we'd just given up, but it was great to see Finlay make his debut. So that is the Stoke game in a nutshell really. It was a very boring game of football if you was a North End fan. So let's talk about these stats, shall we? And I think this just proves it all the more. That we had 7 shots all game, which is lower than our average so far, and none of them were on target. Not a single shot on target. How? How do you not have a shot on target? Who the fuck are we? Barnsley? That's ridiculous. That's pathetic. National League teams get more shots on target than that. We had none. An attacking style of football, you can kiss my ring piece. That's pathetic. 18 shots for them and 6 on target, which is what you should be expecting to see in a game. I don't want to compare other games, but at this point you're going to have to look and compare other games, not our own, but other teams. They're averaging about plus 10 shots each with plus 4 on target. That's normal. That's ridiculous, and that needs sorting out. And I've noticed as well, in the past 2 games where we have lost, we've had more possession. Now, it's what I always say, possession does not win you the games, and that is fucking proof. Because even though we had 2% more, oh no, it was the same as last game against Bristol, I think we had 54 on Bristol as well. Yeah, we did, but we actually had 2 shots on target. The same amount of possession, but it's just how you use that possession, and Stoke absolutely used it well. There's no point in playing the possessive game if you can't turn it into anything. Simple as that, really. There's playing the possessive game, the attacking game, and the dominance game. The dominance game combines them both. We just played the possessive game. It's not good enough. Simple as that, not good enough. 2 offsides as well. They did very well to chop the offside. They made it very difficult for us to get past. And they admitted that it was very difficult to break us down in the first half, which is why it was 0-0. But apparently we just let that slip. They sussed us out, and all the credit to Alex Neil for it. Again, another manager wasted at North End because he just didn't get the backing he needed. It's a shame, really. And I've got a funny feeling the same thing's going to happen to Ryan Law. So in terms of our lineup that we played today, we had to play Story, Diaby and Hughes because Liam Lindsay had an injury. And again, with one of those 3 key players missing at the back, it shows just how poor we are in defence compared to if we have all 3 of those lads. Don't get me wrong, Diaby wasn't terrible, considering it was his first start of the season and he's not exactly match fit yet. He was pacey enough to chase down a few players, but that's it. His defending isn't exactly brilliant. He's pacey and he can get in the way, but that's about it. And it's not good enough. That's why Lindsay needs to be in that central position and Story out on the right. Simple. I think Brown had an alright game today. Yesterday, all things considered. Considering that he couldn't really do much in terms of an attacking right wing back, but he did miss a few easy balls here and there. The 2 front and Brady there, that's fine. All this is fine. It's just we need Liam Lindsay there. It absolute backbone of the team. I don't want to talk about these guys because I don't care, to be honest with you. In terms of our subs we made Evans, Woodburn and Potts for a change, but these 2 are becoming a regular. And then we had good old Finlay, 17 years old, making his debut. I love to see it. He's been fantastic in the younger side. So if we can have him break into the older team, then that's going to be very, very good. So it's between him and Mikey at the moment, I think. There's some big competition there, but if I could see them both breaking, even better. So talk about the ratings and then we'll move on to Low's match reaction and then we'll sign off, shall we? So Woodman is 6. He couldn't do much, to be honest with you. He made a few saves in the second half. and he still needs to be catching this ball, because you're good enough at palming the ball away, and it can go anywhere. You need to learn to catch the ball. Story, it was poor for Stokes first, but I defended well up until that point, making important blocks and winning some key headers. Tried pushing forward to help with the attacking play, but didn't have much success. But even still, it's the highest rated defender on the pitch. DRB did well in the first half, but struggled a lot in the second. I'm going to add a lot there because he did. He brought the ball out from the back fairly well, and he made a good run at one point, but didn't cover himself in glory for either goal. Hughes will be disappointed with both goals, especially the Campbell one. Competed fine in the first half and showed an urgency to get forward. Whiteman a 6, sharp and aggressive in the first half, but Peony's midfield lost the second half battle and he couldn't get on the ball to control the game. Sounds about right, that's just every game at this point. Brown a 6, he started the game well, putting a pretty solid first half with his energy and aggression at the right level, showed some sharp touches but drifted in the second half and midway after 70 minutes. McCann kept running, putting the yards in, carrying out his defensive duties and trying to force the issue at the other end. No lack of commitment or desire, but a few loose moments, which is a big shame. Brady a 5 buzzed around in the middle of the pitch and tried things, but a bit erratic in some of his play, couldn't provide that creative touch, which is a shame again. Alvaro a 6, probably his quietest game, which is very true. Sterling nullified him well down the left, despite the Spaniard's eagerness to be positive on the front foot, which Alvaro is continuously proving to be our best player. Maguire a 5, so that's his average rating at this point. Received the ball and looked after it a few times, but quiet on the whole and didn't really cause any problems for Stoke. And Reece a 4, a very quiet game, he's quietest yet for sure. He had one run at Stoke in the first half and linked play on occasions, but Peony couldn't get him into the game. He's threatening with his pace, but when you can't use that pace to keep hold of the ball or even capitalise on that, then what can you do? Can't do anything with it. You're good enough at being fast, but if you can't do anything with being fast, then you're a bit useless really, aren't you? Because Reece does not pass the ball. Woodburn a 5, found pockets of space on the left and tried to get Peony into the game, but didn't really add anything. Potts a 5, got up and down, added some freshness, but similar story to Woodburn, and Fosu got the better of him on one occasion. Evans a 5, had one chance to deliver a low cross, but it was cleared. Did little aside from that as per usual. And then Finlay, yeah, it was great for him to make his first team debut. It was a wonderful moment. Sadly, the game was gone and Peony never looked like getting back into it, which is a massive shame, because looking at his debuts compared to, say, Mikey O'Neill against QPR, I think it was QPR, but one of his games last season where he debuted, I'm more than sure it was QPR at home, which they went on to win. Big shame, really, because this lad's he looks like a really good talent, so hopefully we can keep his confidence up and stuff, because to see him not want to compete, that would be terrible, but he's been a North End fan all his life apparently, so hopefully he's used to it by now. Right, Ryan Lowe's reaction. Northern manager Ryan Lowe did not feel his side deserved anything from Saturday's defeat. Yeah, me neither, pal. So let's read out what he said. So he said, for the first 15 minutes I thought we were okay and well in the game. There was a pivotal moment where we felt it was a penalty because it hit that guy's arm. If you get the penalty, it's a bit different. Second half, we came out, felt we could have a bit more belief to win the game. That's bollocks. They scored a goal on their behalf, but we have got to track runners. We didn't track the runner into the middle. Okay, right, you've just completely said that we didn't do what we were supposed to do. Right, that's one way of putting it. We didn't track the runner into the middle of the goal, and he's there for a tap-in, disappointing. And then they score right after that, which were a tough moment. We probably weren't good enough to get goals. We didn't have a shot on target. A couple of our set pieces were creative, true, but we probably didn't make enough chances to go and win the game. I am not looking for any excuses. You say that every game. But we were beaten by the better team today, but there were moments along the way that could have helped us. We played some good football, but then we broke up one line. We sort of went back instead of breaking another. The first goal gets you the win, doesn't it? Not really. And that is, well, in North End's case, probably not, because we don't often win. Actually, no, bollocks. I say we don't often win from behind. We won against Norwich. We came from behind against Norwich, so I don't believe that at all. And that is the disappointment, because there was nothing against it. Nothing in it, sorry. They had a good 15 minutes, of course, but once we were on top, we had some good chances. No, you didn't. Goals and clean sheets win you the game, and we didn't do either. They have some good players, haven't they? Let's have it right. Oh god, there's a lot to read here. They are way above where we want to be with the players and turnaround of players, which again is going against what he says of saying he was backed in the summer and he's got everyone he needs. He doesn't have everyone he needs. It's clear he doesn't have what he needs, and he keeps saying it, but he's dodging the point. It's massive, isn't it? You only have to look where Stoke have been, the calibre of players they've got, the money they pay. We have competed with those teams before. We beat Norwich, whose budget is probably bigger than Stoke's. Today they had that little bit of quality which finished us off. In the absence of Liam Lindsay, who missed Saturday's game due to a hamstring strain, Lohan did Diaby's first league start of the season. And he says, yeah, look, Bambo is Bambo, isn't it? That is the best way you can describe Bambo Diaby. Bambo is Bambo. Fucking brilliant, that. Cheers, Ryan. He's very exciting in different ways. That is not being disrespectful to him. He's a leader and a winner who wants to win everything. He's very competitive and we have to slow him down at times to guide him through. You just make him sound autistic by saying that. I thought he did well. He got stood up for the goal, but I didn't want him diving in and losing people so they can go through one-on-one. He got there, but they just had that bit of quality where they stood up and put it into the bottom corner. But yeah, he's with us because he's got qualities. No, he's with you because Liam was not match fit. That's the only reason he's there. He started because Liam weren't fit, simple as that. And you can't exactly be playing Cunningham because he favours being on the outward. Cunningham doesn't suit being in the centre, so you had no choice but to play Diaby realistically. And don't get me wrong, he weren't terrible, but it's not great. Righty, so we'll finish off with some points to make and the pros and cons as per usual. I'll keep it on this white screen this time because when it's on the other screen, it's a bit dark and you can't really see my face too well because my webcam's shite. I'll invest in a new one soon, I promise. Anyways, points to make. We always kick off by booting it out for a throw-in, and I don't understand why we keep doing that because it amounts to nothing. Why not just pass it back and control it around, you know, instead of just going straight for a long ball forward? It never works, so why do we do it? I don't know. The defence is blatantly poor without the key three. The midfield definitely needs parts for the defensive push, in my opinion, in these situations. And in general, as possession was lost a bit too much with Alan Brown today, but it might have just been an off day because he was a bit fatigued, I think. We conceded 2 silly goals, and the Stoke fans were great yesterday, despite the travel complications for some of them. Because if you don't know, there was a group of Stoke fans whose travel coach broke down on the M6, so they had to walk it all the way to Preston. So big. I don't know how far the walk was, but it was a decent walk from what I can see. So big respect to the Stoke fans because they were brilliant. They made all the noise possible while they were here. Sung plenty of songs, travelled in numbers. Difficult travelling, and when we were out before the game we bumped into quite a lot of Stoke fans, and every last one of them gave us ounces and ounces of respect. So I can't praise Stoke fans enough. You lot were fantastic, and I hope to see you again next season, provided we're not relegated. The only pro I can pick out from the match is Finlay made his debut. That's about it. I don't really think there's anything else to say, and I don't want to praise the Stoke fan as a pro because this is more about us than Stoke fans. And a con, we had 5 cons. We've got not a single shot on target, of course, that's the biggest one. There was 0 creativity once more. There was no more inside runs, which is something I infinitely praise during our games against West Brom and Norwich, because it was such good progress that I've been shouting for all season. Instead of playing out wide and then inward, which never works because we're like 5'3" each. Especially Shawnee Maguire, he's like, what, 4'2". It's like, no one's tall enough to make those kind of goals, so we need to run inwards, find the space and be creative with each other, which is something we did really well against West Brom and then perfectly against Norwich. Which brings me to the 4th negative, which is the progress we made in both of those games is gone. It's like that sickness bug has just shot us in the head and we now have no brain. It's ridiculous. And Stoke very easily exploited us in the second half, which is an Alex Neil masterclass as they call it. So yeah, it's quite unfortunate really, but what can you do about it? So our next game is Huddersfield on Tuesday, which I'll be going to, so we've got a bit more of a different matchday report that day because I can give more of a head-on experience with the away game and the away experience, so that's good. And then a week Saturday we've got, well, 6 days now, we have our game at Doomfield, which is a game, if I'm being frankly honest, we need to win that game. If we don't win that game, then I've got a funny feeling things are only going to start spiralling more downhill up until December, which is when we get to the Rovers game. And if we can't win the Rovers game either, or even draw, then there's going to be some big problems. There's going to be some big fingers pointed, and I don't think it's going to look super well for Super Ryan. So fingers crossed we can turn our shit around, because it's been pretty depressing recently. But hey, that's just being a Preston fan. We always dream, always believe, never achieve. That's Preston North End. So yeah, nice one for listening, appreciate that. Now go and enjoy the rest of your day, stop wasting your time on me because I'm not worth it. And yeah, let's hope that we can do better on Tuesday, because Huddersfield is a team we should not be losing to, let's be honest. No disrespect to Huddersfield, of course, but based on their current position in the table and how they're playing, we should be losing that game.